Well, let's get started. What's up, my bombolicious bomboclatters, coming at you with the oh my low frame rate aestheticies. Today I have a very special video for you. We're going to be making a skateboarding game. Why, you ask? Because it's easy and fast. Okay, I've got to come clean. I tend to prefer making prototypes for game mechanics I think are cool, instead of making actual games. I'm not very good at finishing things. Wait, don't show them! I also have an old skateboarding system. First thing is, we need to make a map to skate around on, and for that, we're going to utilize the holy grail of all great gifts to mankind, the Roblox toolbox. In the past, I would have spent months making unique assets for every little thing in game. I think it's a shared sentiment that I went from being very much against the use of free models to being very for them, simply as a tool to speed up development. It's a tips for devs and something I only really learned recently, but it's more important to get something out than spending months just making meshes to use in your game. In terms of design, I wanted to go for a brutalist architecture style while keeping the game looking relatively simple for readability and performance. I really want the player to feel like the map they're skating on can fall apart at any second. There's also a bunch of random models and silly things thrown in for the players to find. When using toolbox models, I tend to retexture them from a bank of similar textures so that the style stays cohesive, as free models can cause art style clashes. A big emphasis that I want is if the players see some kind of feature or some trick that they think that they can pull off, then I want them to be able to do it. Take these pipes for example. They look pretty cool and players will want to spin around in them, so I specifically went out of my way to code a feature that let them do it. Except there's still that bug where at the peak of their loop they end up flipping 180 degrees temporarily. Now this is due to assumptions that the C-frame constructor needs to make when building it. Unfortunately there's not much I can do about this as it would require me to recode a whole lot of the system, so honestly it's good enough.
I feel it with knee surgeries tomorrow! Ah!
Oh, that's my friend.
Hato!
He's my personal little user interface slave, artist that I cherish very dearly. Hailing from the big city, Hato is a heavy hitter salaryman.
Have you told him what the game is even about?
Oh, no.
Right. Then after that, we really need to discuss player engagement.
Well, the morality around that specific point is really interesting, since it establishes a clear dichotomy between creators and consumers. God, I hate that word. While a person is experiencing someone else's work, they are stuck doing precisely that, passively consuming for that duration. Bundle this in with weekly updates, daily rewards, or monthly battle passes. Players keep coming back and spending money to stay competitive in the item/skin economy. It becomes a necessity for there to almost be a large underclass of people that are kind of just stun-locked in that state, so that we are able to earn a living. This is much different from pre-internet where you'd watch a movie for a short while or read a book for a couple of days and be done with it.
It helps support us.
Fine then. Look, I'll add right? You better be happy now. As you've probably seen by now, this game is very much structured like an obby. Players need to methodically make their way down a massive pit in order to fulfill the title of the game. Skateboard out of poverty! The reward at the end? Well, you'll need to wait until release to see that. Where have I seen this before? The problem with a lot of obby games is replayability. You do the obby once, and that's it, you've done it all. However, players will be highly incentivized to keep descending the pit because of what's waiting for them at the end. It's definitely not related to gambling. Oh, that's right. This game functions off a life and checkpoint system. It's intended to be a slightly toned down rage game, where instead of having to restart after every death, you are given 3 lives. Every time you die and lose a life, you respawn from the last crown checkpoint you were at, which are these spire things. Once you're out of lives though, your link to the last crown spire will be severed and you'll have to restart, unless you pay Robux or crowns, and you earn a crown every time you enter a new checkpoint each run. Crowns are used as a currency for many things. You can spend crowns to respawn once you run out of lives, and they'll also be heavily utilized once you reach the end. Players will also be able to spend crowns on consumables and cosmetics. I'm also working on getting a custom OST for the game. It won't be super expansive, but it'll be a couple of songs for important areas and encounters. This is Intikus, my favorite musical person who most notably contributed to several tracks of the Rainworld Downpour expansion, such as Trip Trap, Overskog, and more. Here's a sample of something for Skateboard. Feel free to check Intikus Spotify below if you're interested in his work. For release, I plan to add 2 major encounters in the first area, the complex. One will be a chase and the other will be a boss of some sort, so look out for that. There'll also be some overarching story and lore elements for the player to explore. After New Year's, I plan to resume streaming on my Twitch, Sire Bumbo, so feel free to drop in if you want to support us. I've also linked my Discord below. Winky winky. I did plan to talk about rail grinding for ages, but I kind of ran out of time. I most likely won't make another devlog until the first update, as I plan to finish and release the game at the end of January. Making this video alone took me a month. Updates will consist of adding new layers with unique rewards for finishing them.
Bye, Pookie Bears.